Hi, it's Suebelle in Palm Beach. Hey, Homeworthy, come on in. I want to show you my beautiful apartment.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Before today's episode, click the join button below to support all of the storytelling we do on this channel. Our growing community of members help to directly fund more videos so we can capture these extraordinary homes from around the world. So join today to receive early and exclusive access to new Homeworthy videos.
Hi, it's Suebelle Robbins. I'm in Palm Beach, Florida, and I am a social influencer. Hi, everybody. It's Suebelle in Palm Beach, and I want to tell you a little story today. Amazing that these companies know that I wear makeup. I don't know how they figured that out. I really don't wear much makeup, do I? My home is beautiful. I bought it last March and spent some time redoing it, and it's very traditional, but it's also sort of Florida. I've got parrots and photographs and some great artwork and antiques I have acquired over the years. We lived in Boston and in Newport, Rhode Island, and Park Avenue in New York. This apartment is a little bit of all the things that I acquired and that I loved, and I've sort of edited it to make them fit this apartment. I've been here for 20 years, seasonally. When I was 23, I came to Palm Beach with a date, and I just fell in love with it. We went to the Flagler Museum, which was started by Henry Flagler, Standard Oil, and he came here at the turn of the century, and it's just beautiful, filled with coconut trees and palm trees. It's wonderful. And we went to this Flagler Museum, a fabulous French restaurant that's no longer here called Petite Marmite. And then we went to the Colony Hotel for drinks. And that's when I decided I'm going to live here someday, because they were all sort of old people and they were so attractive. All the ladies had beautiful gowns and jewelry, and I thought, this is where I'm gonna be. And then about 25 years later, I was with my husband in Boston, and he said, you know, I made too much money. I don't have any deductions. And I said, what about a mortgage? And he said, well, we can't live there yet. I said, well, that's fine. So we bought a place, a beautiful penthouse, and then we would come seasonally. So that was like 20 years ago. So I've really had a couple chapters with falling in love with Palm Beach. And each time it gets more wonderful. I'm in my foyer, and I love this room the best. As I said, every room I'm in, I love the best. But this is wild wallpaper. I just am crazy about it. It's English. The chandelier is original. The people had it in 1969, so it stays with me. And I love the gilded mirror, and I had to keep it narrow. There's not a lot of space, but I have my beautiful sterling dish with the S on it, and little faux flower that I think looks perfect, an umbrella stand. And it's very simple. This is the only room where we changed the floor, and I think it gives great definition. And this was one closet which we made larger to have the space, and they were able to make a little coat closet in there, and I just love it. I think it's great. Everybody loves the wallpaper. Welcome to my living room, dining room. I just love the light in this apartment. It's great. The chandelier was here. I'm crazy about chinoiserie, the blue and white. I have it all over. These I love. They're from, I used to go to the gift show every year in New York and had the most wonderful things. These chairs I love. They're from London. I got them at an auction. And I've got the Brunswick, I think it's called Congo animal print. It's like a needlepoint. This wonderful watercolor of Paris I got at an estate sale, and my friend looked it up and saw that the artist was selling things for $70,000, so it was quite a coup. I think I paid $1,000, and I love it. I love the way they were able to hang it from the ceiling. It's just brilliant. I think they used fishing wire. Both the tables are burrowed walnut, which is my just absolute favorite. My grandfather, 100 years ago, had a Rolls Royce, and it had burrowed walnut trim inside, and that made quite an impression on me. So I'm a burrowed walnut girl. And these are faux painted. As I said, they're from London. And I did the Brunswick Congo print, and my husband tells me they're not very comfortable, but I love the way they look. And these are two chests that I just adore. They're from Scott Snyder, who's a fabulous designer in Palm Beach. And we have estate sales once a month at a place called Kofsky's. And I got those. I also love silver. I was blessed to be able to get a new sofa. I don't sit on it very much because it's so new. I want to break it in, but it's fabulous. It's so comfortable. We've got this fabulous TV that you can get a painting, and love this. You can see I love the blue and white. I have it throughout. I think it's great with antiques, and don't count them, but I love the white orchids, so I've got them throughout the apartment. This is the Brunswick. As I said, it's called Congo, and it's cute to pull up a little sit on the stool. And this is, over here, is a child's chair that I did in a Brunswick zebra, which I think is really adorable. If you'll notice, they redid all of the moldings in here. I love the way they look, very contemporary. This was painted by a friend of mine's mother, and this is by another friend. This was my foyer in Park Avenue, so I'll always have something to remember. Beautiful Park Avenue. This is from my two best friends in Newport. They came to visit me, and they gave me this little silver box, April 2007. I think it's really important to have pictures and objects that you've received from friends. It really validates a wonderful thing, and there's nothing more wonderful than friends. Some of my favorite places, this one is about Newport and CZ Guest, and this is a social photographer, Nick Mealy. He's in Newport, and I know his mother. He's become quite famous. He's sort of like a Slim Aarons, and I have my Slim Aarons books that I love. This is new. This is great. This is a gift, and they took the pot and they covered it in moss. I think it looks so wonderful. And I love the black. A friend of mine said you should always have something black in a room, so I'm covered here. The same guy, Ryan, painted this picture. It's the girl with the pearl earring, and a couple people say they think it's better than the original. But it's charcoal, and I think it's really wonderful. And it's got a silver frame that picks up all the silver. I love burrowed walnut, so I have the two tea caddies. I don't know if anybody's watched The Gilded Age, but this is one of the mansions from the Gilded Age, and it was made into condos in the 80s, and we lived in this condo above the pillars, and we had a beautiful view of the whole shore. This is my husband and myself in Venice, where all the stupid pigeons go. My background is I was born in upstate New York, but grew up in Texas, Austin, San Antonio, and Beaumont. And when I graduated from the University of Texas, I didn't want to marry a Texan. They had big bellies and cowboy boots and drank too much beer. So I went from Austin to Boston, where I was, I fell in love with Boston. It was great. I was looking for a teaching job, and there really weren't any. Guys were coming back from Vietnam, and they needed to hire those guys. And but I finally did find a job in a Catholic school, St. Agnes in Arlington, Massachusetts, right outside of Boston. And it was only $86 a week. So to supplement my income, I became a PlayBoy Bunny at night. So I did that about 3 nights, and then I was with the babies. I taught first grade during the day, and it was quite an exciting life. This was 70s, that was me. And then I got into the travel business, where I would take tour groups, like all lawyers or all Shriners or all doctors. I would take them, escort them to Switzerland or Honolulu or Puerto Rico, different places. And then I got promoted where I would live in the country. So I lived in Puerto Rico for 6 months, and then I lived in Honolulu for 6 months. And when I was in Honolulu, I met my husband on the balcony. I always said I was Romeo and he was Juliet. He was just in Honolulu for business. He was in the newspaper business, and they had a joint venture with the Honolulu paper. He was with Gannett. And anyway, I went to visit him in Rochester, New York, where the headquarters were. And I went to visit him in Thanksgiving, and we got married the following New Year's Eve. I was a tax deduction. So I lived in Rochester, New York for 10 years and flew around on a Gulfstream jet, was able to make occasional trips to Palm Beach. And then I got divorced, and I moved back to Boston, where I met my present husband. That was 36 years ago. And I've done some real estate. I just do referral now. I'm with Sotheby's, and I did quite a bit of interior design, and buying and selling properties has been a great hobby. I've sort of been able to catch the market, and I love antiquing and shopping. Oh, and also I always loved clothes. So when I lived in Rochester, I started doing some country club modeling. And when I moved to Boston, my sister was a manufacturer's rep for Pringle Cashmere, and I met some of her accounts, and the people at Talbot's wanted me to model, so I started doing catalog modeling for the buyers. I was what they call a style model. I would try on clothes all day long, and they would decide what outfits were going to go into the catalog. And then I would go to New Hampshire, where the clothes were kept, and I would model for the telephone operators so they could see what they were selling. It was great fun. I ended up modeling for 7 different catalogs, and I just had a great time. They made me feel like I was Cindy Crawford. So I've had a lot of little chapters, and they've all been great. Now I'd love to show you my sunroom. It's really my favorite room. Every room is my favorite room, but this is really my favorite room. This is, it's a coral, and it's all, it's vinyl, and it's a faux grass cloth, and I just love it. I think it's so rich. And this is my special baker table. It's burrowed walnut, which I love, and I have 8 chairs 4 of them in the living room and 4 down here. And it's a perfect spot for dinner party where you could switch couples around after a course. And I love the silver with the orchids. I think it just looks spectacular. And it's great for me to be able to mix gold and silver, just slip the two together without being too apparent. This at one time was a terrace, lanai, and they enclosed it, but you can open up and be like outside. At night, it's wonderful. My favorite Biedermeier antique chest. The drawers are a little sticky, but it's great. I have a great friend, Ryan, and he painted that from one of my portfolio pictures. I love the fabric. The fabric was curtains in my old apartment, and I had them slip cover. And the tortoise mirror, I'm crazy about tortoise. That again is from an estate sale. I have great friends, and this was a Thanksgiving gift. If you don't have anything nice to say, come sit by me. That was, it was sort of a joke, but maybe not such a joke. I love it. These chairs are fabulous. They're from a big estate on Middle Road, a mansion. The house was like the mansion in Sunset Boulevard. They're getting a little faded with the sun, but I think that gives a little panache. And I love the silhouette, and they are so comfortable. You wouldn't believe it. And I piped them in aqua to match the print on the sofa. And you'll see this print is very vibrant. The print in the living room, same print. It's had a little bit of sun, and so it's a little faded. But Brooke Astor always loved to have faded, so I have no problem with fading, because sun is a good thing. And I've got the bamboo blinds that I had on Park Avenue. I hadn't planned on selling our penthouse, but when my husband was ill, it was sort of too big. There were a couple rooms that I never went into, a library and then a den. So I put it on the market for an outrageous price, and then I took it off the market, and lo and behold, a man had seen it, called a broker, and I was offered an insane amount. My husband said I'm not supposed to mention money, but we did quite well. And I knew this building, it's right down the street. We're right across the street from the marina where all the boats are kept. And so I knew the street quite well. And I went to look at an apartment, and it was 2 floors up, and it had a great view. And then the man decided not to sell. And so I saw this apartment, didn't have as great a view, but it did have a great view. I saw that it had potential. I never realized till I moved in how important light can be. It's very bright, and I just had so much fun decorating. I've always loved leopard carpets. That was always my dream. When I was a little girl, I went to visit this rich lady in Texas, and she had leopard carpet. And guess what? I got to have leopard carpet now. And it's just been great. As I said, I have the things I acquired in Newport at auctions and down here at estate sales, and everything works. It's just been super. So I fell in love with it immediately, and there was a room that was sort of an enclosed patio, and I've turned that into a sunroom, which is where we're sitting right now, and I just love it. It's very cozy, and then I have my dreamy bedroom with the leopard carpet. Now I'd love to show you my kitchen. I'm really crazy about it. I wanted navy blue, but this is like a royal blue, and it's so well done. Believe it or not, this elegant thing is a refrigerator. This is South Coast construction. The way they did all the wood, it's all maple. I mean, we're going to wear out before this wears out. And I really bit the bullet, and I'm glad I did. I'm buying the very expensive hardware. And I also was able to pick out the kind of moldings I wanted, and I think it looks great. They've got all the moldings here. I'm a big believer in mirroring backsplash. I think it gives you a huge sense of space. I had like a sort of a tacky gold faucet, and my friend said you really should get a good one. So this was my $1,000 faucet, so it's very special, and I do think it looks great. I love the gold with the navy, and they did a great job on the moldings. And again, this is the vinyl grass cloth that we used the excess on the bookshelves, but it's not grass cloth, it's vinyl. And that same artist that I love, Eugene O'Neill, painted that. I think it's perfect for a kitchen. And this is like a little desk area. Oh, this is Richard and myself when we went to Egypt. Little kiss on the camels. I have this because I always forget my phone, so that reminds me. And again, tortoise shell. I love this from the gift show. This was from the gift show. If you ever get an opportunity, it's just wonderful. You have to walk around for hours, but you see things you've never seen. The light fixture I love. I love X's. And this is from the collection from Suzanne Kessler. She's a really well-known decorator. And guess what? She lives next door. So I love that. I told you about the mansion. Newport, it was Mrs. Stuyvesant Fish. They were the Pennsylvania Railroad people. And she gave this as a gift for the flower show in 1908. And it's sterling silver, and it's from Tiffany. And I got it at an antique shop in Newport for $300. I just love it. Oh, I'm very traditional. I love the 60s and the leopards and the silks and the gold. Sort of fancy. I love a combination of English and French. And I had a very good friend at Brunswick who was sort of a mentor and turned me on to beautiful fabrics that I still use today. So I'm traditional with a little bit of sexy prettiness, I think. I love that they've started making vinyl grass cloth. For so long, wallpaper just wasn't seen, but now it's had a big comeback. And grass cloth, I had grass cloth in my other apartment, and it had been very expensive. So they've made it in vinyl, and it's a fraction of what the grass cloth used to be. So I love that I've been able to do that throughout the apartment. As I think I mentioned, I always loved animal carpet. A very rich Texas lady had it in her house when I was about 12 years old, and it was always in the back of my mind, but never was able to do it. And then I was. And I told you I go to estate sales. There's a very fancy decorator called Scott Snyder, and he designed for this very fancy lady, Audrey Gruss. So these were at a house sale, estate sale. So I got the 2 chairs. This is from Ireland. I love it. It's sterling silver, and this is an old boyfriend's family name. I love sterling. This is a perfect table. It just works. I just had the blinds motorized. It was too hard to push them up, so I'm very excited about my new blinds. I have a great story on this painting. A friend of mine knows how much I love Paris, and this is Paris in the 30s, and it came from Mrs. Budweiser's house. She was a a Budweiser. My friend married her son, and she knew how much I love Paris. And so she took the painting and had a G clay made. So that's a copy. And I think it's so beautiful and romantic. The bedside tables I got a long time ago. This wonderful store used to be open on Sundays. It was great, and I would just go hang out there on Sundays, and I found these tables. And of course, I've got my chinoiserie lamps and my darling husband, Richard. And I love the candle, the sterling with the month and the day. And another picture of my sweet husband in tortoise. This fabric was about $1,000 a yard. It was very, very expensive. And my friend Carmi at Brunswick gave me a couple yards. And so I had pillows made. And I have all this monogrammed linens from Legacy. It's a great company, but I've ended up just using 2. And here's another friend. Too much of a good thing is wonderful. Hope you agree with me. You can see I have the most fabulous built-ins. They're just, we've got the special doors and the enamel finish and the expensive hardware. It's from Anderson's. I got everything. I've been buying stuff from them for 25 years. And this is a great thing that you can do with your TV. You can have paintings. They have any number of paintings to choose from, but I love Paris so much, so I love that picture. And this is where I do my filming for videos. It's called a cameo, and somebody will want you to wish them a happy birthday or happy engagement. And so I do it there, and I also put my makeup on here. It's very, very, very important if you're from Texas to have makeup. And they had this at the nail studio, and I bought about 10 of them for Christmas gifts. You put your phone here. So I do my little videos, and the light is great. And then I can't stand any kind of a clutter. So you just close the door, and people don't even know you're wearing makeup. Ha ha. And this is my closet. It's very frustrating because we don't need winter clothes very much here, and they take up so much room. But anyway, it's nice. It could be a little bigger, but that's okay. I'm happy and I'm grateful. This is where I sit when I do the makeup. And also I can put the table over here. I think it looks quite smart. Matching bedside table. This was a picture that I wish I'd chosen to have my portrait done. I picked another picture. I guess it's okay. My best friend said it didn't look like me, so I never really liked it, but as I get older, I like it. And this was done in 2008. Do you think I've aged a little bit? And I love this bathroom. A friend of mine had something similar, the chinoiserie mirror. And I love the light fixtures, and everything is on dimmers. But this is Schumacher wallpaper. And this is my $129 chandelier from Home Depot. And I just put some expensive shades on it, and it looks pretty cool, don't you think? And it's so nice at night just to have just a little bit of light. I think it's so pretty. I think it's great to have a bench at the foot of your bed to put the pillows on. My first husband used to always throw the pillows on the floor. That would start an argument every evening, but it's great to have a bench at the foot of your bed. Again, you see how I love the white orchids. I'm also, since this is May, the lilies of the valley are really incredible. They have a wonderful fragrance. And I love the way they did the molding again throughout the apartment. And I do have a fan. And that's the beach where I proposed to my husband. And he said yes. So my friend at Brunswick said, well, you know, it's not very good art. And it's like, I don't care. We had been to a wedding in the Cape. After the ceremony, there was a club or a restaurant, and we went to, and they said, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And I thought, oh, we could do that. I'd been with Richard for 8 years. I didn't want to get married again, but when I went to that wedding, it sort of clicked. So we drove back to Newport from Falmouth. Falmouth. It was in the Cape. And on the way, we had stopped at Kennedy's. It was this art studio. There were quite a few around Boston. So we got home, and Richard said, I have something to ask you. And I thought, oh my gosh, he's thinking the same thing I'm thinking. And I said, okay, what? He said, do you think we should buy that painting? It was like, oh. So the next day we were at the beach, and I said, Richard, what would you think about a wedding? And he said, that's good. I'm too old to be a boyfriend. I found out later he used to cringe. I would always say, hi, this is my boyfriend, Richard. And, you know, he was like 50. He thought he was too old to be a boyfriend. But he also said he was glad he was wearing sunglasses, so I couldn't see the shock on his face. So that was like Labor Day, and we got married Columbus weekend. And we drove to Vermont. It was wonderful. The trees were gorgeous, and that's really my favorite time of the year. Don't get that too much in Palm Beach, but maybe I'll get to go to Southampton this summer, just for a couple days, just to see the leaves. But that's a true story. The home soul in this apartment is the entire apartment. It's so hard to pick one place. It's like they said, a judge was so dumb, the lawyer that talked last was the one that won the case. It's wherever I'm sitting, I feel like this is just perfect. I look around and I say, oh, I love this room. So I feel that way in the sunroom where I am now, or in my bedroom. I just love the serenity. I love all the white orchids throughout. So it's a very difficult question. I think that the entire apartment is the soul. The soul is I've been able to incorporate all the things that I always loved but had never been able to do. And that is beyond my wildest dreams. I just love this apartment, and I never want to leave, except maybe to stay in the Carlisle Hotel in New York someday. Home to me is when I walk in the door, I have a feeling of happiness and contentment, just contentment and gratitude. You know, like, oh, I can't believe I live here. I can't believe I live in Palm Beach. It's, again, beyond my wildest dreams, and they've come true.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.